history. You hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the Lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel.
My name is Jenna. We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
Follow me on Twitter at Comeuppance. I do daily vlogs. They're called Chronologically Joel. I do a show where I go into abandoned buildings and record and talk about the history of the buildings. That's called Lost to Time. All of those are on comeuppance.com. Thisishowtowatchtv.com as well. Same website. Takes you to the same place. Apparently I said too many things and then I had to call.
A lot of things.
So, I just wanted to introduce you to the podcast here in episode 83. Somebody just commented on the first episode. I thought this video would tell me how to watch Chronologically Lost, as the title suggests, not watch people talk.
Oh, should we point him to
I
where
did.
he could
I
get
said,
the episode?
That's a fair point. Go to Facebook and search for Chronologically Lost, and on their page, the first post has all episodes to stream.
Yeah.
So I still provided that. Are you going to fucking watch now, you dick?
Yeah, watch it.
Asshole.
When he gets to episode 83, he's going to be like, oh, jerks.
Fine. He's like, fine, I won't watch the last 20
Not watching
episodes.
anymore.
I'm not
'cause
watching
you're
the
so
last
mean.
18 episodes because you guys took my comment.
Right.
It's bad.
I thought this would actually tell me how to sit on my couch and, like, make some chili dip and, like, really enjoy the episode. Let me tell you. 2 sticks of Philadelphia cream cheese on the bottom of your pan.
Did you enjoy the episode? Did you enjoy episode
2
83?
cans
Oh,
of...
no, she's doing it. Just go ahead. Just roll with it.
2 cans of no bean Hormel chili. The, like, 15-ounce cans, I think they are. 2 cups of mild cheddar shredded cheese. 18 minutes in the oven at 350 degrees.
This is how to bake cookies.
No, it's not cookies.
Oh, no, making
This is how to bake no bean chili.
Oh, you said chili. Okay. This is how to bake dip of chili.
What, dip
I'm
of
trying
chili?
I'm trying to put the E at the end.
This
then
is how to
watch
make
it.
chili.
It's not that, it's dip. Anyway, episode 83 of Chronologically Lost, covering December 2007. Apparently there's 3 episodes in a row that are December 2007.
Well,
So a lot of shit happens in that month,
yeah.
and not a lot happened prior. Like, we saw everything that happened over the last 3 years in one episode, and now we're just in December 2007 again. And we're, like, on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Do you think it's because everything's ramping up again? Like, everybody's almost talking to each other again?
I feel like I forgot to mention that you should eat with Tostitos scoops.
I would vehemently disagree with her, because I do not like scoops. They stab
restaurant style Joel
No.
over here.
Nope.
Oh, what are you going to
you.
say?
Nope.
The hint of lime is so good.
Nope. Not hint of lime either.
Wow, the donkey ones? Jeremy likes those.
No, I like the Tostitos. Bite
Oh,
size.
the bite size. God, I always forget
Delicious.
about the bite size.
Because you pop some salsa on that bitch, and then it's just...
I got, like, addicted to the hint of lime ones, and I
Yeah.
think all of the taste buds on my tongue also went down my throat with them.
Fair enough. Yeah, that probably happened. I tried the restaurant style recently, and I was just blown away by how much salt was on there.
Yeah,
Like, this
it's a
is
lot.
unbearable. I threw it away.
Yeah.
The
I find
bite-sized
that
ones are perfect.
if
I
I
can
buy-
load it with salsa, and then it outweighs any salt.
Yeah. If I buy the, what's the goldfish with the extra...
Oh, flavor blasted?
Yeah.
It's on tab.
I mean,
I don't know
like-
why those aren't the standard.
I know, but my tongue is like raw by day 2 of eating them. Like
Really?
if
That
I
happened
have
more
like
with the
a
salt
little bowl
ones.
of them before bed, and then I'm like the next day I have them again, and then by day 3, like I have like 3 swollen taste buds.
That's
It's like
all that's
everything. I'm like, life sucks. God.
Would you perhaps feel like you just traveled through time for thousands of years and then woke up and wanted to puke because of the taste bud thing? No, that's what Locke happened. That's what happened with Locke.
Is that why he was throwing up? I thought it was
Ben
just
threw up
because.
too.
Oh, they both did.
Remember when he came out in Tunisia? He threw up.
I kind of figured that it
Part
was
of the
just
time
because
travel.
that they were
or part of the.
Because they were
the
non-existent
magic of the
for
island.
3 years. So
Ooh.
Ben and Locke, they were just.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you slightly on the second one. Ben, absolutely. Locke, not so much. It's been much more than 3 years. For Locke.
I'm sorry, but
Thousands
of
potentially.
years he just jumped through time.
Well, again, the one kind of foible in the chronology
like
of
6
Lost
months
is that
for
it doesn't
Ben.
make sense for Locke to have seen Christian Shepherd when they placed that in the Chronologically Lost. It doesn't really make sense there because why would Man in Black be appearing as Christian Shepherd thousands of years before? Because it was when the statue still stood.
But we already talked about that. That was because the body was on the island, so it was blipping through time with them.
Okay, so then as soon as that time jump occurred again,
Then,
he was no longer a Christian Shepherd.
Right.
Okay, I'll buy
I
that.
thought we talked about that.
I don't remember. I mean, it's 83 episodes
God,
ago.
go back and rewatch.
That was the end of the first episode, for real.
Oh, okay,
Was-
yeah. I
but
think I remember that.
That Locke is just reappearing now. We're just seeing him again for the first time since that.
Yeah.
He's been through all the other stuff, and then comes out the other
That's
side
cool.
of the turning the wheel, and then boom,
Yeah,
he's there.
it's definitely, the puking is something to do with the time travel, or... Yeah, and
Right.
not only are they time traveling, but they're actually teleporting.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That whatever the magic is of the water and light combined, that would.
Yeah, the donkey wheel.
Yeah, I mean,
The magic wheel in the wall.
Man in Black invented it. He figured out how to harness. No, the scientists helped him figure out how to harness the light and energy, and that was primitive
Back in the
because
day?
it was primitive at the time. That's why it was just a fucking wheel, because they had the technology of 1,000 years ago.
Mm.
So yeah, but the smartest scientists they had figured out how to harness it and channel it with the water, and then that would make it exponentially more powerful.
Okay.
And that was going to be his way to leave the island. So he'd already figured out how to do it. He just never got to because Jacob killed him before that. So then he was just Smoke Monster after that point, and not
but I
the brother.
still have the issue with, like, why was Christian showing up to Jack at the hospital?
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
he
we
had to
talked
be
about
off
the
the
fact
island.
we talked about the fact that the smoke alarm went off,
Yeah.
and smoke
But he
alarm.
wasn't
Smoke Monster,
dreaming.
but Jack is whacked out on pills.
Not at that point. It was
Was he
right
not?
before.
Was that before he went to
that was-
Hurley?
No, it was
Oh, he asked for the pills right then.
right then. But do we know if he had been taking them before that? Because he didn't start going crazy until he saw his dad, and then Hurley told him something about
That he
Charlie
was,
said you would see your dad, or Charlie said to tell you that somebody said hi, or something like that. That's when he started going crazy after that. Because he realized that he actually did see his dead father, and a bunch of shit is about to happen.
Does anybody have an explanation for Christian Shepherd in the hospital from the last episode? I don't know that I've ever settled on something that I know for a fact in my head is what happened.
But in that same time frame was when Jacob was there. So is it, I think it's possible that Jacob was like, all right, let's come with me. We're going to go get all these people to come back. Or maybe, I don't know. We're going to go make these people think they're fucking nuts so that they have to come
but
back.
that's not how it worked. So, somebody mentioned about when Sawyer was touched by Jacob. He was technically already on the island.
Who was already on the
Sawyer. Adult Sawyer was on the island when Jacob left the island to go touch young Sawyer. That sounds awful, but you know what I mean.
Oh, because they were blipping through time?
No, because they stayed in the 70s. And then he was like, yeah, that happens in a month. I could go stop it. His dad killed his mom.
Oh, yeah.
I could go stop it, but I'm not going to mess with it. But so Jacob left the island while Sawyer was already there.
Yeah.
Instead of just going and talking to Sawyer,
But that
adult Sawyer.
that had already
Oh,
happened.
that would have had to have got him to. That was part of getting him to the island. Got it.
Whatever happened, Joel.
Right. But it's weird that he was already there when Jacob had to go recruit him.
Yeah,
I
mean...
So anyway, Locke wakes up, he pukes, and his bone's sticking out of his leg.
So gross.
He sees a Dharma-looking camera thing pointed at him. See that? I could have busted out, I guess.
Oh, God.
Wow.
You should not do that. Oh.
Not something that I made. Something that I took from Dharmaville. For real. I have the pictures to prove it.
From New Otherton?
From New Otherton. This was on a pole behind the
It was
trailer.
an actual working camera at the YMCA. Thanks a lot.
Right, exactly. There were like 40 of them on poles, and that's where I got the speaker, too. I brought another one back for her. Anyway, I probably told that story before. Anyway, he sees the Dharma-looking camera, and then he sees like what appear to be almost like the pylons going off into the distance as far as it can go. And then the opening lost. So that was where... So Charles Widmore knew that's where the exit was.
Well, he had to have just figured it out, right? How many people could have possibly exited there? Oh, no, because Charles Widmore was sent there?
Nope. It's that he could have figured it out because that's where Ben came out. And he would have found out who actually found Ben. And
later, when they're in the hospital bed, he said, "Did he trick you into turning the wheel like
no,
he
did he trick you in, or did he like get you exiled?" He didn't. He asked if he tricked him into leaving.
I just assumed that meant the same thing. That's how he knew.
We saw him leave though. We saw Charles Widmore leave. Yeah, they put him on the sub and shipped him off. We come back from the opening credits, and it's night in Tunisia, and Locke's still there, and a truck pulls up and nearly hits him. Except right in front of his face. Was that necessary, really? They crudely pick him up and toss him into the bed of the truck, and then he wakes up in the hospital the next day. And the doctor forces him some pills, and then he sees Abaddon behind a curtain, all ominously. And they put a stick in Locke's mouth and set his leg. There's something really cool about put the thing in his mouth, wrap it around the back of that, and just wrap it a couple times around the log, and then it stays there. Like
Why
it doesn't make
cool?
It doesn't make sense, but it's just weird that
it had to have unraveled.
Well, eventually
I thought the same thing when they wrapped it. I was like, that's not gonna stay.
Right, but it got it there and whatever. He passes out from the pain when they go.
Yeah.
So.
But why would they do that? Like, I mean, they just shove it back in. Like they weren't gonna like pull his leg and like.
I'm not sure it works like that. I'm not sure it's like elastic bands, your muscles, where you can...
I would think that your bones are what is keeping everything... Don't you remember that Family Guy episode? I have no bones!
Right.
I would think that the bones are what's keeping our bodies in the form that they are.
Right,
like,
but there's muscle still attached here to the bone, and there's muscle attached here to the bone. The bone is just like that.
I would think that the muscles would always stretch.
You have to warm it up first. You have to do a light stretch before you get to the real stretch with the bone. But we found out from Widmore that he brought a specialist in to set the bone properly.
Yeah, because shoving it back in was not the way to do it.
Oh, you think that's what he meant? That after that?
Because afterwards he had a cast on. They were probably just like, get back in there. We're just going to gauze you up and stop the bleeding. So then
before he woke up again... The guy from Widmore showed up.
So.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And potentially, actually gave him some medication to where he wasn't going to wake up again.
Right. So, he had the specialist flown in to set his leg properly, and then Widmore tells him that he knows him. And he says he met him when he was 17, and all these years later he looks exactly the same. He introduces himself, and then asks Locke how long it's been. And he's like, 4 days.
I don't remember when they met. Like
when he was 17.
I know, but what was the scenario?
1954.
It wasn't by Jughead, was it?
Yes, it was in the Jughead storyline.
Okay.
It was leading up to Jughead. Juliet was speaking to two of the others because they were speaking Latin, remember? And she's like, "Oh, it's Others 101." Remember that line?
Okay.
And then Sawyer tried to shoot at one of them when they ran away, and then the other one was Widmore. But his name said something else on his shirt at the time.
Okay.
But yeah, young Widmore was there when like Eloise took Faraday and Miles and Charlotte into the little tent and then to Jughead.
Yeah.
So that's when he met him, and
but
now in 2007,
what did Locke say to them?
That he was their leader and shit. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because he said he put the camera there because he knew it was an exit, and Widmore was the leader before Ben tricked him into leaving, which isn't really true. Do you think we saw that after the fact? We saw him getting exiled for real after he mentioned this piece of information, and therefore they changed it a little bit rather than him being he was exiled, but
I don't remember when we saw that because I feel like we were
They
always like,
walked
why
him
do
to
they
the end
hate
of the
each
dock.
other?
They
I
walked
know.
him to the well. Oh, you mean in the show?
Yeah.
I bet it was late. So anyway, Locke tells him he chose to leave, but Widmore told him that he protected the island peacefully for 3 years until Ben tricked him off of it. And he didn't trick him. He was nailing Eloise, and that's what he got her. He got somebody besides Eloise pregnant with Penny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he had to have been traveling on and off the island.
Mm-hmm. But that's not him getting tricked by Ben. That's him choosing to go nail some chick off the island and get her pregnant. That's not him being tricked by Ben. Do you think Ben was like, you can go? Because he was in charge. Widmore was in charge at the time. So I don't see how Ben tricked him.
No, I thought it had something to do with the purge.
Widmore was gone by the purge.
Oh, okay.
Ben was young when he got Widmore kicked off the
Okay.
island. I mean, he was younger. Widmore had long hair, but he looked like current day Widmore. He didn't look like the beefy 30s Widmore that was there with Eloise.
Yeah.
Like he was current day, but he had brown hair and it was like in a ponytail or something.
Okay.
I vaguely recall. So Charles is confused about why he would want to leave, and he figures out Locke came back to bring them back, the ones who left. He tells Locke they've been back for 3 years and have been lying about where they were, and Widmore wants to help bring them back.
But I guess the thing that doesn't make sense is why wouldn't Locke have just said that he turned the wheel to try and fix what Ben did?
Because Locke didn't turn the wheel. Oh, wait.
Wait, yeah, that's what he did.
He did.
He was trying to put
right.
it was
he was
off
trying
kilter.
To stop the spinning.
Yeah.
Or the blipping.
So why wouldn't he have just said, the island's been I guess it wouldn't make sense, but Widmore would have understood. Like if he said the island was flashing through time and I had to turn the wheel.
That's interesting because
to stop it, and that's why I came here.
Well, he would also then be able to follow that up with, that's why I appeared to you all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But if he did that, he would be admitting that it wasn't that he's special, it's that he was time traveling. You see? If he tells Widmore the island was blipping through time and it just happened that way. I didn't even plan it. Ben fucked it up and Ben did this. He'd be like, oh, so Ben sent somebody back in time to fuck with me in the 50s? Like, that's craziness. Like, if he had told him that,
I guess
it could have fucked up the whole...
But nobody's questioning the fact that Richard Alpert is never aging.
I don't know that to be true. I don't know that nobody's addressing it or nobody's questioning it. They're probably all questioning it in their head, but who are they going to ask? Think about the people that would be asking. The Losties? The Dharma Initiative, the others, like who's gonna tell them? It's not like Juliet could go to bed. Hey, look, I got this issue with Richard Alpert.
Maybe they just purge them all every so often. So
they just always do a purge, yeah.
Like, oh, it's been 10 years. Isn't that a movie? Have you seen that movie where the lady never ages, and she has to change her identity every 10 years? She moves, and
that's a movie with a lady too.
There is a movie where a lady never ages.
What's it called?
Isn't it The Age of Adeline or something like that?
Oh, I have no idea. I've seen another movie like that.
The Time Traveler's Wife was a cool one.
I'm
pretty sure it's Age of Adeline, where she never ages. So she leaves or fakes her death and changes her name or just moves. I don't remember, but what?
The Man from Earth. It's a movie that's all set in one fucking room, but it's riveting.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
You should watch it. Everybody should watch The Man from Earth. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's just like talking and, I don't know. It's
That
so
sounds
good.
really boring.
It does, doesn't
Just
it?
like talking. Who listens to just talking?
Well played. Fine. So anyway, Widmore is going to help because there's a war coming, and if Locke's not back on the island when it happens, the wrong side's going to win. Is it?
Is he talking about Man in Black and Jacob, or is he talking about Widmore and Ben?
It's a good question. I'm not sure.
Does Widmore know who Jacob is?
Jacob?
Jacob.
I'm not sure if he knows who Jacob is.
That's a good name. I'm gonna write that down.
Jacob.
Jacob.
Yes, no, it's not
Cup.
Jacob.
Cup for short.
Jacob.
Can you spell iCup?
No.
Can you spell it?
Nope.
You should spell it.
I can't.
Can you spell it?
In Tunisia, Locke is Jeremy Bentham, who is a philosopher. And he's like, if your parents can have a sense of humor when they named you, so can I. You know that John Locke was a philosopher as well, right? He gives Locke a phone and says to press 23 if he needs him. Just there were lots of number references in this episode.
There were. I
Then
did
gave
notice some.
Then gave him a folder where everyone else is. Saeed's on the roof. He's still sitting on when Locke finds him. That doesn't fucking make sense to me.
Right.
Did he just take a picture like 10 minutes ago?
Yes.
Because he's still on the same fucking part of the
Maybe
roof.
somebody like Snapchatted a picture of
We
him
were
on that.
pre-Snapchat.
Okay, somebody texted a picture of him on the...
We might be pre-SMS texting.
maybe. Email?
2007? No, we got it in 2007.
Ugh.
No. I mean,
I feel
terrible pictures.
Yeah, they
but
were grainy. I feel like this would have been like maybe emailed.
Maybe emailed.
Maybe like Kinko'd and then FedExed.
2006 was when I did my first video for Asteria.
Yeah.
So like that was, and it was awful trying to get that online. That was unbelievable trying to get that. And finally, YouTube came
the
out.
videos that I have of Mackenzie are good when she was young because I actually had one of those little things.
Yeah.
And then, those little things you hold. And then when Caden was born, I think I videoed everything vertically on my iPhone.
Ugh.
And it was so old and everything's so grainy now, it's terrible. I wish
Yeah.
I would have used like an actual camcorder.
Right, because the phones were shit then.
They were
The
garbage.
camera was
Yeah.
awful. It's no nowadays. It's no 2017. Yeah, I mean, you can see the difference in my vlogs over the 3
Yeah.
years because, like, I've always just been using my phone, and I was also always using the front camera, which is
I know.
shit
It's garbage.
compared to the back camera. So now I just hold the phone
I know.
and point the back camera at me and just trust that I'm pointing it in the
Yeah.
right direction. It is what it is. It looks awesome though.
Right.
Except I'm on it. Aside from that.
It's not that awesome.
So anyway, Widmore and Locke discuss which side Widmore is on. He claims he sent the freighter to remove Ben so Locke could take over his, ruling duties. And it says the island has needed him for a long time, and Locke is told he's special by Widmore. When was it that somebody said, I bet you haven't been told that in a long time? Was that Ben fucking with him? Fucking with Locke?
Well, no, because Ben would have never known that Locke traveled through time. Because Ben left the island when the blipping
Right.
started.
He did, yeah, that's right. Well, Richard told him the only way to get them to come back was for Locke to die.
But how would he know that?
Because he blipped through time.
Who did?
Locke. Locke's telling...
But Locke never went back in time and told Richard Alpert, I have to die.
No, Richard Alpert told Locke he had to die.
But why?
Because Man and Locke told him to.
Oh.
It's the loop that doesn't fucking make sense.
When did Man and Locke tell Richard Alpert?
Once he's Man and Locke. So after Locke already dies, but Locke was blipping through time. So when Locke was blipping through time, it was before he died. So we're talking, he blips to 2007 at some point.
Right.
On the island.
Okay.
He's on the island in 2007. Richard Alpert comes up and takes the bullet out of him that Ethan just shot him with.
Yeah.
And tells him, you're going to have to die, John. Because we see later on that when that flash happens, Man and Locke goes, we have a mission, we have an errand to run. And he takes Alpert out into the jungle and walks him right to where he's going to blip in time. And he tells him, go give him this compass, or take the compass. I can't remember which way it went. I don't remember if Locke gave Alpert the compass or the other way. Yeah, I think, no, he gave it back to, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point being, he told, Man and Locke saved.
Are you sure it was Man
his
and
own
Locke
yes.
that gave him the compass?
No. Locke
Locke
gave him the compass in
and
the
said, I'm going to be
50s.
born, you need to
Yeah.
go see me, blah, blah, blah.
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
But when did the time where he said that he needed to die? Did we see
haven't
that?
seen it yet because it hasn't happened yet in this version.
So how would Richard Alpert have known to say it already?
Because Man and Locke was with Richard Alpert and took him to where Locke was going to blip in time.
When?
in 2007, after they crashed back on the island, a Jira 316, after that crashes back on the island, Man in Locke, who's standing in the water in a suit, the way Walt is, he then says, Richard Alpert, we have to go somewhere. And they walk off into the woods, and Locke blips through time and just appears right there.
I understand, but I'm saying...
What?
How can Richard Alpert right now have known that Locke needed to die if 2007 hasn't happened yet?
He doesn't know that.
So are you saying that's a continuity error?
No, I'm saying that Locke... Why? Because Locke said he told him to die? Because Locke said, right, the line was that Locke said
Richard Alpert said I have to die.
Right. That's already happened for Locke. Because he blipped in time.
Oh, forward.
Yes.
Jesus. I'm following now.
Sorry, I didn't know that I wasn't explaining that.
Okay.
I apologize. I was trying to get to that he was blipping around.
He's already experienced that, but it hasn't happened yet in the show. I thought you were saying there was a continuity error, so that's why I was trying to follow
the continuity error, to me, is that how can it be Man in Locke if as Man in Locke, in 2007, he has to tell John Locke that he has to die in order to become Man in Locke.
Because when they die, I swear we've already had this conversation, that when he gets in the body of the person, he carries all their memories. So he knows that he had to die.
But he's the one who told him to die. He's the one who told Richard Alpert to tell John Locke that he has to die,
Locke
and then John Locke died.
is the one who told Richard Alpert to take him the compass and go see him, and
right.
So same cycle.
How's that the same cycle? I mean, here's my only issue with it is that Man in Locke, in order for his mission to succeed, Locke had to die.
Yeah.
He could never have become Man in Locke unless Locke already died.
Mm-hmm.
So Locke already died.
Whatever happened, happened.
I mean, that's
because
fine,
he flashed forward in time and he was already dead.
But that's the part that doesn't make sense.
Then
he wasn't already dead. He flashed forward in time to 2007, and he was very much alive at that moment. And coincidentally enough, he bumps into the person that tells him he has to die, so that the person who told that person he has to die is already in his body. I mean, like,
life's a bitch.
That's the conundrum. That's one of the only things that really doesn't make sense to me.
Does it grind your gears?
It doesn't grind my gears. No, it makes me want to figure out what I'm missing. What am I missing there that he's already Man in Locke when he tells him he has to die?
Because Man in Locke is like, oh, well, he died, so somebody has to tell him he has to die.
So it wasn't a him feeding his own cause thing. It was more of in order for this to have happened the way that it already happened, because that would make sense, I guess. Because he's like, look, he already died because I'm him. Right. It's not. I always thought of it as he needs to die for me to be able to become him.
But maybe he doesn't want Locke to accidentally change anything. So he wants to tell him.
I was never thinking of it that way. That makes a little bit more sense, that it wasn't that he needed Locke to die to become him. It's that he just wanted to make sure that Locke still did die because he had already become him. That makes more sense than I'm enacting this plan to become Locke. And I'm telling you, here's part of the plan.
No, I think he's like, well, I am Locke right now.
So he already died.
I'm just going to let him know he needs to die.
I'm glad we talked it through to this excruciating extent.
I feel like it's very excruciating.
Because I genuinely understand it better now than I did before. So I don't care if people didn't like it. Skip ahead 30 seconds, whatever.
It was longer than 30 seconds.
It was minutes.
There's a net.
So Widmore introduces Abaddon and wishes Locke luck. And then Abaddon, pops out a wheelchair. And Locke just, gives it the stink eye.
Yeah.
And he asks if there's anyone Locke wants to contact, and he's just like, please don't talk to me. They go to Santo Domingo. Locke has a list just like Saeed.
Yeah.
Remember when he got his from Ben? Again, the opposite sides playing each other. I didn't really connect that so much at the time.
The light against the dark.
Who's the light in the dark?
I don't know. I guess in this episode, I would say that Ben is the dark.
I mean, he kills Locke. But so then it's Widmore. That's the light.
Widmore is just trying to get back and protect the island.
Is
and
Widmore really that altruistic? Why is he always fucking with Penny and Desmond?
Maybe he just doesn't like Desmond. He doesn't think he's good enough for his daughter. I mean...
Okay, so what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily make Widmore a bad guy. It just means he doesn't like Desmond.
Right.
Because he was always framed as a bad guy.
I know, but I don't think that he is supposed to be the bad guy.
But so you think that Ben is definitely the bad guy?
I think so.
Because
Well,
Ben gets redeemed later, but that doesn't count.
Doesn't he become one of the people or no?
What do you mean, become one of the people?
Does he become one of the protectors of the island?
He becomes Hurley's number 2. Yes.
I mean, Ben has done a lot of terrible things.
But so you think that overall Ben was the dark and
I'm
Widmore was the
saying
light? Widmore wanted to kill Alex, for the record.
This specific episode makes Widmore look like the good guy and Ben look like the bad guy.
Okay.
Now, Widmore did not tell Kimi to kill Alex. Kimi made that decision because he was told, no matter what, bring Ben off the island. Do what you have to do.
Okay.
And Kimi's a piece of shit, so that's what he chose to do.
Right.
I don't think that has any bearing on Widmore.
I mean, he sent Kimi to the island knowing what he could do.
He said, I needed to get him off the island.
Right. I don't necessarily disagree, but it's weird to think of Widmore as the good guy.
Oh, I know. They definitely portrayed him as a bad guy the entire show. I'm
Right.
not discounting that.
And he got so close to being back on the island, didn't he?
But if you
not
just
actually back on the island?
if you ignore everything else that's happened in the show and just focus on what we watched in this hour, Widmore's a good guy.
This is so weird, but like I want to see all of the Widmore stuff now.
Yeah, just
Like
start from beginning.
it feels like a storyline that wasn't necessarily as fleshed out as I hoped it would be. But I'm really interested to see when he returns to the island.
Did he?
Yeah. His sub popped up on the beach. Remember? And then I believe they went on Hydra Island. I'm not positive, but
I feel like we'll get there.
We will definitely get there, but it's exciting now to think about that. I forgot all about Widmore's part. I don't remember him having a major role, though, going forward. Major role. In the Dominican Republic, Saeed's still on the same roof, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
funny that I still got that, and I haven't watched How I Met Your Mother in a long time.
Yeah. Saeed sees Locke in the wheelchair, and he is not super stoked about going back. He explains how Ben manipulated him for 2 years and says that the best 9 months of his life was when he met up with and married Nadia. And Locke says they should not have left and tell Saeed where to find him if he changes his mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he says she was murdered, so that was a bit of a leap. I mean, Was she?
Oh no, she was hit by a car, right?
Right.
Well, but then Ben told her that Widmore's man hit her in the car.
But why does he trust Ben after all that Ben made him do?
Because he was emotionally broken.
I guess. Okay. New York, New York. Locke waits outside a school and asks Abaddon to look up Helen Norwood. Walt comes out and they acknowledge how big he's gotten on screen. Walt sees Locke and says he's been dreaming about him. He was on the island wearing a suit and people are around him wanting to hurt him. I don't remember that being the case. Because he was so confident and smooth as Man in Locke.
Maybe the others wanted to hurt him?
Maybe. He asks if Michael is back on the island. He says he hasn't spoken to him in 3 years. Locke says he wanted to make sure Walt is okay, and Michael was near the island on a freighter last he heard. And how could Walt be so ready to walk away from Locke so quickly? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would he walk away so quick? He was like, okay, well, I gotta go.
All right, gotta run.
Let's hang out for a week and talk about everything.
God. Where's my dog? Have you seen my dog?
Tell me what happened after I left. Tell me fucking everything, man.
Did you find a hatch? Another hatch? Did you find more hatches?
What happened in the
lots
hatch?
Of hatches,
What was in the
and
hatch?
then like hatches. And then did you play pool? And then do you still have that backgammon game?
Right.
I mean,
Wait,
like,
you wanna play a game of backgammon?
days of questions.
Like, I don't care if Lena was 10 when that happened and then she's 14 or 13. She's still going to have questions about it. It doesn't make sense to me. That would have been so much fun to hear them just... I mean, we can't watch them catch up, but...
We go to Florida on a vacation for like a week, okay? The kids will talk about it for years.
Right.
I mean, this morning, Katie was like, I have my suitcase packed, we're going to Florida, and Maddie was like, no, we're not. You know, like, but she remembers going, and she will talk about it, and, like, say things, and And she's 7 or
Right.
almost 7. Caden remembers. He's, young.
Yeah.
Walt was
10.
10.
Yeah.
Now he's like 14 or
13.
no. Well, he's gonna
It's 2017. It was 2007. It was 2004 when the plane crashed.
Oh, well, he's like 18 in real life or something.
So Abaddon's talking shit about Locke being 0-2, and then we see Ben is watching.
Ooh.
Back at Santa Rosa, or in Santa Rosa, California, at Santa Rosa, Hurley's painting a sphinx, and he thinks Locke didn't make it. And Locke's like, yeah, no, I'm not dead. He's like, hey, am I talking to this bald guy in a wheelchair? Yes.
But didn't he ask about somebody else too? Like, didn't another guy say that he saw Charlie?
Yes.
But was that guy lying?
That guy was crazy.
Okay.
He needs him and everyone else to come back, and Hurley sees Abaddon and tells him to be cool. He's like, yeah, no, he's with me. And Locke, he loses his shit, and frustrated Locke is getting a talking to from Abaddon.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds Locke he told him to go on the walkabout. It says he helps people get to where they need to go, and that's what he does for Whitmore. Back in we go to LA now, and Locke is talking to Kate. She just says no, and she's just heartless about everyone dying on the island if she doesn't go back. Doesn't fucking care.
I get it. She went through a lot.
She's about the fucking baby. That's all it is. It's just about the baby.
I'm saying she went through a lot to get her life normal, and he's asking her to now change that.
Not really. Normal in the sense that her legal troubles are gone.
Right, and
but
she's
not normal
not
in the sense that she
moving.
couldn't go to the island. Come on, you could go there for a little while.
It's
just only for 2 fucking weeks. That's all she goes back for. It's 2 fucking weeks.
Oh, I thought she didn't stay in the 70s?
She did stay in the 70s, but for 2 weeks.
And
at
then
most.
she went back.
Then she went back to 2007, and then they were there for less than a week.
Well, she had to get home.
Right. But since she was gone for 2 weeks, and Claire got her baby back, though, at the end, I think. Yeah.
I thought Claire's mom got the baby.
But Claire left the island.
Oh, she did? I don't remember. Spoiler alert.
Right. Sorry. She thinks about Locke sometimes, how desperate he was to stay on the island. She realized it was because he doesn't love anyone. He's like, that's not true. I loved Helen. It didn't work out because I was angry and obsessed. And she's like, and look how far you've come.
It was true, though.
But, seriously, though, you see how desperate he is at this point.
Yeah.
Because that is what needs to fucking happen. Desperation is not somebody desperately wanting something that needs to happen. Desperate is somebody begging for something that doesn't really need it. That's not really required.
It's not really required for them to go back to the island.
It is.
Only for what happened
to save the world.
To save what world?
The world.
Okay.
Jack had to kill Man and Locke. Or else the cork was pulled and that was it.
You're a cork pulled.
Well, or no, the cork had to be pulled in order for him to kill Man in Black, but it had to happen, or else Man in Black could have won and then gotten off the island and blah, 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 even though I wanted that to happen.
That would have been way more fun.
It would have been way fucking fun. Imagine Man in Black running through New York or something, just fucking downtown.
I feel like that's every Godzilla movie or Jurassic Park cool. With the T-Rex going through downtown.
He's doing
New
that
York.
as the smoke monster, and then boom, he's just Man in Black walking down the street in his Man in Black costume.
Man in Black, just walking down the street.
So Locke asks if Abaddon found Helen, and then we cut to her tombstone. She died of a brain aneurysm on.
I was like
on 4/8/16.
4/8/16. Nice.
Oh, she just died last year. Poor Helen.
That's really sad. No, we couldn't have said 16. 4/8/06.
Jesus, why would I have put 16? That's so weird. I swore it said 16.
No, I remember it going, oh man, that's not far off from when they got there. But,
no, that's 2 years after he got to the island.
I know, but I meant like when they got back from the Oceanic Six.
Right.
Right before it went to the tombstone, I was like, man, what happened to Helen? Did she die? And then it was like, tombstone. And I was like, oh God.
He says she loved him, and even if they were together, she would still be gone.
Was she already doing Gemma in Sons of Anarchy?
No, she wasn't.
No?
She was nice and wholesome a little bit.
What was
she was
she
more
doing?
Peggy Bundy. it's still on that
No.
side of the fame thing. She wasn't Gemma yet, I don't think.
Was she doing Futurama already?
Yes.
Okay.
She had done that for years.
She hasn't always been doing Futurama.
Well, since 99.
99?
The show came out. You don't remember the fucking concept of Futurama? The
I
concept
don't
of
watch
Futurama. It's the best cartoon. Honestly, it's so smart and like science jokes are funny as fuck. Like it's really good. I'm telling you, I didn't pitch it the best way, but it's fucking the future.
Science
and it's
jokes.
So good.
Can't wait to watch it.
It's The Simpsons in the future with
Hashtag
really
science
funny
jokes.
science jokes. Shut up, they're really funny.
You know what else has good science jokes? Big Bang Theory. You should watch that.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any Futurama science jokes.
You put me to sleep.
Oh, shut
Your
your
science
face.
jokes.
No fair. You changed the outcome by measuring it.
Hilarious!
Uh-huh.
Ha! Ha!
I mean, it's a funny ass show.
I've
You
seen
need to
the
watch
show.
It. You shut your mouth. You haven't seen it. So what's the concept then?
They're a bunch of aliens.
Nope. In 1999, Fry was delivering pizzas, and he got a pizza delivery to a cryogenic lab, but it was ordered by Icy Wiener because it's frozen.
How do you spell
Icy? No. And he sat down, and then he fell into a cryogenic chamber, and it kept him there for 1,000 years, and then he woke back up in the future.
Oh,
So
like Superman?
that never happened to Superman. I'm positive. I don't even know the Superman lore, and I'm pretty sure that.
Oh
never
wait,
happened.
I meant to say Austin Powers.
Okay. Yeah, but not 1,000 years. That was like 20 years.
Austin Powers, he's the man.
So anyway, he tells her that she would have died of an aneurysm either way. This is where she was supposed to be. No matter what he did or does, the path will lead him back to the island. Abaddon gets shot
How
and
does
killed.
Abaddon know the future? Like, he knows to go and lead people to where they need to go?
Right, that's
How?
what he said. I don't know. That's a good question, genuinely. I don't have an answer for that. Why
Is
does
he going and meeting with Man in Black?
But is Man in Black the one who would be knowing where people need to be?
Well, Jacob does, so why wouldn't Man in Black know?
It's a good question. Anyway, Abaddon gets shot and killed, and Locke hops up front and drives off, and then he gets into a car accident and wakes up in a hospital bed. It felt very reminiscent of when he first woke up in a hospital bed after being pushed out the window. Then Jack is there, and he asks what he's doing here. Now, did you notice how fucked up Jack looked?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't remember that,
Oh, I
watching it
remember.
regular. That he looked fucking whacked out on pills. Like, I
Well,
didn't know it really before.
Yeah, I think we did. We thought he was a drunk. He was
I
miserable.
thought he was a drunk. I didn't think he was taking clonazepam or whatever and oxycodone to get
What
fucked
is
up.
clonazepam?
That's for psychiatric patients. Like, that's...
Okay, and, I mean, the oxycodone is like Vicodin, right?
Yeah, but really strong.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that shit makes me sick.
I can never take Vicodin. It always made me ill.
I vomit every time.
Yeah. Jack asks what he's doing here, and Jack has a slight beard and looks fucked up.
Yeah.
Locke says, we have to go back, and Jack is really fucked up, I noticed.
Yes.
And he says, because it's our destiny, Jack mocks, and Locke says it wasn't an accident, someone was trying to kill him. You don't want him to get back to the island because he's special. Jack asks if he's ever thought that maybe he's not special, just a lonely old man who crashed on an island. He says, your father says hello. The man who told him to move the island and to bring everyone back said to say hello to his son. It couldn't be Saeed or Hurley's. So, and the man was named Christian. And then Jack's like, my father's dead. He has to help him convince everyone else, is what Locke says. Jack needs to. And Jack is pretty fucking lost at this point. He says, we left and we were never important. So we cut to then Locke's suicide scene where he writes the note, I wish you would believe me. And he's about to jump when he hears a knock at the door. It's Ben. He comes in and convinces Locke that he's important. And he found him by having someone watch Saeed. Locke figured out that he killed Abaddon, and he tells him about Widmore saving him, but Ben says he was using him. And says Widmore was trying to keep Locke away, or he was trying to keep Widmore away so Locke could lead. The same thing Widmore's saying. He was trying to keep Ben away.
Still believe Woodmore.
Yeah?
Because Widmore didn't kill anybody in this scenario.
Okay. Ben says he has no idea how important Locke is. He wants to help, but Locke says he's a failure and there's no helping him. He couldn't get a single person to come back. And he's like, yeah, well, Jack just bought a ticket to Sydney, so you're good.
Yeah.
He's totally in. Ben says, you can't die. You got too much work to do. And then Ben unties the rope. Locke climbs down, and then Ben mentions Locke hasn't gone to Sun yet. And then Locke explains why, because Jen told him not to tell her, and blah, blah, blah. And then Locke says he knows where to go to Eloise Hawking, and Ben's like, okay, so I just got all the information that I needed handed to me on a silver platter.
Yeah, you're good.
Including Ring. And, he kills Locke and cleans up and hangs Locke from the ceiling.
How?
It's a good question, too.
I mean, he's like a scrawny little man.
Right. He takes Jin's ring and leaves and says, I'll miss you, John. I really will.
Okay, and then he wipes the handle with a rag and then grabs it with his thumb to close the door.
Well, I'm presuming he then wiped it again.
No, I don't think so. I was very irritated.
In London, Sun gets a call from her mom with GE on. Should be with him, dumbass. Or with her. Widmore comes outside. You know why this was filmed actually in London? Because Alan Dale, the actor who plays Widmore, was in London for another shoot.
Different set, yeah.
Yeah, so they went there to get the shot. Sun approaches and calls him out about knowing about Oceanic 815, says they have common interest. She points out that they aren't the only ones who left the island, and he asks why she would want to help him.
Why does she? Is she conning to kill him at this point because she knows that it was his freighter that killed her husband?
Maybe. It could be. It's most definitely related to that.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to help him.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
In Santo Domingo, Saeed's working on the house. Ben shows up. How did you find me? Because you stay on the same fucking roof all the time.
Right, you've been working on the same house for like 7 months.
He tells Saeed Locke is dead and that he thinks he was murdered. Right. Says it was retribution for the work Saeed has been doing with Ben, and he's trying to leverage Saeed, blah, blah, blah. Says a man in a sedan is waiting and watching Hurley, and Ben thinks Saeed would want to kill the guy. And he's like, why would you think I'd want to kill him? He's like, well, you're a killer. That's what you do.
Right.
And he says, I'm not what you think I am. I don't like killing. And Ben's like, oh, so sorry.
Right, I thought you loved it.
We go to Bearded Jack on the plane drinking, and the flight attendant doesn't want to give him another drink.
Right, she was super irritated.
There's turbulence, and Jack sees that Jeremy Bentham died and tears out the obituary.
Yeah.
He goes to a bridge. He's distraught. He calls someone and leaves a voicemail. It's me. Then hangs up. Or I just read.
Calling
Kate.
Oh, see, are you sure? Because I thought he was calling Locke.
No. Why would he call Locke? He just read Locke was dead.
He was just calling to see if you were alive.
He didn't have his phone. He didn't have his phone number.
Fine.
It was Kate. But what I think they were doing was teasing us that he was calling Sarah. Because at the time, this is the finale to season 3. And we didn't know it was a flash forward yet. So they were trying to throw us off the scent by having him call somebody, and we think it's Sarah because we think it's a flashback. It's before he met Kate.
Oh, yeah.
But the mobile phone, the Motorola flip phone was a clue. I think that's in the next scene after, in one of the next scenes when he's driving again. But I think they were teasing us to think he was talking to Sarah.
Okay.
It would have been convincing enough that he was calling
because he
her.
Was drunk and she was
up,
cheating on him and all that.
But that was all. Well, yeah, we didn't know that they'd already divorced or whatever.
Okay.
So he gets out of the car and climbs up on the side of the bridge to jump and says, Lord, forgive me. And then there's a car accident on the bridge and Jack runs to the rescue. So he's getting stitched up and the nurse tells him the media is waiting outside because he's a hero. And he asks about the woman in the accident. Then, boom, Sarah comes in. She's still listed as his emergency contact.
Why did she show up?
Because it was still her ex who got in a car accident or who was injured in
If she wasn't going there to be able to give him a ride home or whatever he needed,
that was kind of ridiculous.
Fucking go.
That was kind of stupid that she couldn't.
I don't think that would be appropriate.
Right.
Like, then why did you come?
Right. She asks if he's drinking again, and he says no, clearly drunk. And
was he drunk?
Yes, and pilled
No,
up.
he was just high on pills.
Maybe just.
So that's how he's like, no, I'm not drunk,
right,
bitch.
I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk, bitch.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So he asks her right home. She says no, and she leaves. So Jack checks on the girl from the car accident and starts popping pills in the room with her.
Yeah. Was this, like, immediately after he left the ER?
Maybe the next day. Maybe the next morning. But
Okay.
yeah, it was pretty damn close. So Dr. Rob Hamill, the new chief of surgery, comes in, and he hasn't met Jack yet. And he calls him a 2-time hero. And Jack wants to operate on her. So, again, we didn't know he was one of the Oceanic Six.
Right.
When he said 2-time hero. So he's a hero for being on the island and for
saving her.
the girl. Yeah.
But we just figured...
He meant Sarah. That's what we figured. Again, he meant Sarah, because she was saved by him.
She's lame.
So Jack wants to operate on her, and he's like, yeah, someone else is doing the surgery tomorrow. And Hamill says Jack pulled her 8-year-old son out of a flaming car, then went back for her. And Jack's like, I want to do the surgery. He tells Jack to go home and have a drink. He deserves it. So that's just part of the culture. But did you notice that he called him the new chief of surgery? It was Jack's dad's job.
And Jack was chief of surgery for a while.
But how did we not realize when he said, I'm the new chief of surgery? And it was in the past. Oh,
Maybe thinking...
it wasn't in the past. I know it was in the future, but if it was in the past, that would have made sense because his dad died. So then he was brought in as the new chief of surgery. Again, if we're thinking it's a flashback, not a flash forward at the time.
Well, and the fact that they wouldn't have given it to Jack because then he was a drunk. But that wasn't the case.
But he didn't become that until
he came back from the island. But we didn't know that.
Right.
Right.
Let's see. So Jack has to give up the chart and doesn't really want to, but does anyway. And he walks away and does that touch the forehead thing that Jack does.
Yeah.
And he sees news coverage as the boy recognizes him and waves. So he's driving around in this thing, listening to a badass Nirvana song, and checking for the funeral home. And he's using the Motorola flip phone, which is supposed to be a clue. This was a flash forward.
Jeremy's like, "Where is he at? The ghetto?" Like, I was like, "I think he's looking for the funeral parlor," and then funeral parlor.
Right. Hoff's Drawler Funeral Parlor. That's an anagram for flash forward. I am the fucking worst at anagrams.
I don't get them.
I look at Hoff's Drawler, and you tell me that you can fucking spell flash forward out of that? That doesn't even make sense. But it does.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But my brain doesn't work like that. If I have the first and last letter right, I can maybe do it. Your brain can read a sentence.
I remember doing those puzzles back in the day when, you played games on paper.
But I'm just awful at that shit. I can never do anagrams. Anyways, Hoff's Drawler, flash forward. Jack goes inside and the guy says there was only a viewing and nobody showed up. Family or friend? Neither. He's dead, for fuck's sake.
Right,
You're his friend.
Just say friend.
Jack doesn't want the lid opened, and he takes his last pill as he stands over the casket. We go to Santa Rosa, and Hurley gets visited by Walt's grandma. She asks if he's dangerous. Walt is there too, and he sits down with Hurley, and he's like, I don't know why, I don't know why you're getting big, dude, made me tear up a little bit. When Hurley said that to Walt.
Yeah.
I don't know, it felt so sweet. And Walt figured someone would come see him when they all got back, and he's like, Jeremy Bentham came to see me, why are you all lying? He says, we're lying because it's the only way to protect everyone that didn't come back. He's like my dad? Yeah, your dad sort of came back.
I mean, nobody said anything about the fact that Walt's back?
What do you mean? That Walt's back?
That Walt's back on the island? He was on the freaking plane, and he's just living his life with the same name, and nobody said anything that this guy was on the plane.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like the real world didn't say anything about Walt being back. Interesting. So maybe they just said he wasn't on the plane. They just changed that piece of information.
I guess.
At the pharmacy, we find out Jack is out of refills, and someone in the line recognizes him as a hero and tells her to give him whatever he needs. And he gives her another prescription for Oxy, and it's written by his dad. Again, they're trying to tease us that his dad's still alive, and that this is a flashback. Right. She's going to call his office, and Jack says he's out of town right now. And he gets pissed and slams the fucking thing on the counter and runs into shit on the way out, too. Like, knocks over a shades display.
Such a druggie.
So at the hospital, he's stealing pills and knocks some shit over as he falls. And the doctor, Hamill, catches him. And I wonder if that's a Star Wars reference there for Mark Hamill,
Maybe.
like Skywalker. Jack was looking for a follow-up on the car accident lady, and he's like, yeah, I left you 3 messages, Jack. He doesn't want to go to his... He's like,
I don't know how to check that flip phone.
No, he's like, I broke my phone. Or something like my phone's broke. Jack doesn't want to go to the dude's office to talk, and the lady who's Jack saved explained the series of events that led to her crash. She saw Jack about to jump and lost control and rolled into the median and was hit by the man behind her. So the obvious question is, what was Jack doing on the bridge? Jack says, you know how many years I've worked here? You know anything about me? Any idea what I've been through? He's like, how much have you had to drink today? He's like, get my father down here right now, and if I'm drunker than he is, you can fire me. And he can just tell that this dude pities him, and he's like, don't fucking pity me.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just trying to help. He's like, can't help me. You can't help me. And then walks off, and then boom, lost. That was the end of the episode.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. This didn't feel like filler like last week's for you, right?
This was a good episode.
I wanted to immediately watch the next episode. I'm like, damn it.
I wanted to immediately go to bed, but...
Okay, fair enough. Whatever.
That's how I feel every day. My whole life.
Everything is just about... When can I get back into bed?
When can I go to bed? Although I did get up and go pull weeds and put some mulch in the garden before I went to bed. And I did 3 loads of laundry. And I cleaned my bedroom and folded all the laundry and put it all away.
So what are you doing tonight?
Same thing.
Bed?
I'm going to go home and actually cook barbecue chicken on the grill. You want to come over?
I don't know. It depends what we're cooking for dinner.
Nothing.
Jen made
I smell nothing.
I do smell nothing. I think she wanted me to make spaghetti.
I feel like I just made like this much chicken and it's going on the grill.
Yeah?
It's been marinating in barbecue sauce since
So
we've been
when is it
doing
going
this.
on the grill? Because now
As soon
I'm
as I
hungry.
leave.
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
This is how to watch TV.
Chicken.
Chicken!
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.